All right. Okie doke. Welcome, everybody, to episode 3 of the Broodwar talk show that still has yet to have a name other than, what was it? Nom, or what was
Talkcraft? Talkcraft,
Yeah,
right?
Talkcraft. Yeah, that's what Aaron said.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's catchy.
Yeah, not bad, you know. So joined with me today, I've got in box number 1 there, we've got Anderson.
What up?
C-rank Protoss, up-and-comer, pretty good player, pretty good dude. Box number 2, we have none other than Escalade.
Yeah. S-rank members.
And then y'all probably recognize them in box number 3, Breeze, my co-caster for a lot of NSL games. Yeah, we're here to just talk some fucking StarCraft shit. How you guys all doing?
I
Good.
am great.
And good.
Excellent. Sorry, forgive me.
Uh,
I'm eating my lunch while we.
So wolfing down McDonald's still?
I am. I haven't even started on my McDoubles, man. Like, I might not look like it. Well, I'm not really that fat, but I eat like a fat ass. So.
Well, I do as well. That's fine.
All right. So. Traditionally, I mean, well, not traditionally. This hasn't really been a traditional show, but last several episodes we've kind of just gone to each player that's been on and just kind of had them just kind of give their start with the game, why they prefer it over a lot of other games, what kind of got you into it, and kind of where you're at, and kind of just like a general synopsis of yourself as both a player and that kind of a thing. So if you guys are comfortable with that, I'd love to go down the line 1, 2, and 3, and just kind of starting with Anderson as you are in box number 1. So.
Well, I don't know. For me, for StarCraft, I've been playing it since I was a kid, right? And I always come back to this game when I get bored of the competition in anything else, right? Like, Broodwar is just the most in-depth game that when you're playing it, when you're in it, your attention is 100%, it's completely focused. You're not thinking about anything else, and it's a very nice, sometimes distraction from daily life, you know?
Mm-hmm. You're not thinking about anything else but putting that fucking proxy robo above my base, you dick.
Well, I mean, sometimes you just need to relax after work, you know? You don't want to try too hard. Like, you don't want to play a macro game or...
But when you got bullied all day, it's time to bully
right.
others online.
Yeah.
That's how you do.
You play Protoss for a reason, right?
Oh, yeah. If y'all haven't noticed in the bottom there, all 3 of these motherfuckers are all Protoss players. So...
We
Yeah,
eat cheese.
So, in my defense, I actually started off playing as Terran for a very long time. In fact,
Okay.
the most that I've played Terran for probably 20 years. I haven't played it well.
That's okay.
I don't know. I was a Zerg before I was Terran. So, I get it.
I also used to play Zerg.
Yeah, so both of you stop being creepy.
What?
You
Oh,
can't
'cause
do
we're
as
creeps.
much- Yeah, I get it. You can't do as much fun stuff with Zerg, right? It's not as bullshit. You have to try.
I don't know about that one.
I've tried
Ultras are
Zerg for
pretty garbage, man.
I've tried Zerg for CPL 9. And I'm probably gonna try Terran for CPL 10 when it's gonna be up.
Ooh, really? You're gonna play
Eventually. Yeah, because
So-
I need to feel the tilt and the rage, you know? I'm
you're
too
gonna be
happy when I'm playing. I need to balance things, you know?
And man, you want to talk about no bullshit. What about the Devourer? Like, wow. One of
Needs
the
a
most
buff.
useless units in the game.
Needs a buff.
Yeah.
Devourers are like... So, Devourers, to me, are kind of one of those weird units that's like... It's only good if you're good, right? Like, if you're good at the game, and you know exactly when to use it at that exact perfect moment. It's like a ghost, you know? Like, ghosts are fucking terrible units if you don't know what you're doing.
No, the S rank unit. We had to talk about it on
Those
the
are
CPL
amazing. What are you
Discord.
talking about?
Ghosts are trash, dude. Unless you get nukes, they're
They're
trash.
so cool. It's
Are
just
you-
the cool factor.
They're
Okay, okay.
invisible. They got
what was
locked
that pro
down.
game?
They can nuke. They can do anything.
Well, yeah, except live, because they only have like 50 health, and they take
No, no,
the
no,
entire
Does
game
anyone
to
remember
make.
this? Does anyone
mean-
remember this? There was, I think, an ASL match with a ghost that got a defense matrix on it at the entrance to a Zerg natural, so it could drop the nuke while the push was coming in. Does anyone else remember this? Who was that?
No, I have no idea.
Oh,
I don't
man, it was
remember.
amazing. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
And
Yeah, put a link in the chat.
Barizu versus Protoss. You use a ghost into a dropship, drop into your main, bring a science vessel, EMP the Nexus, and drop the nuke. Boom! No more Nexus, no more worker. You're done.
So, the funniest use I've ever seen from a ghost. They built two nukes, or they built a nuke, filled a dropship with that, a couple Marines, and like 5 medics, and researched optical flare. And they just dropped the ghost and then optical flared all the overlords so it couldn't see it, and then put the nuke down.
That's amazing, though. 200 IQ level play there. I like that. Barizu once optical flare my dragoons. I was unable to shoot up the ramp versus him. I was stuck there, and it has some use sometimes.
I would honestly love to fuck with optical flare from time to time, just to see if, like, what kind of shenanigans I could get up to, you know?
Yeah.
Who is it that has the optical flare TVP build? Who is that?
The AI.
TAI.
No. There's someone in the NOM Discord that's always talking about it.
God, it was so fast, dude. Boom. The A. Oh, man.
God.
Oh, fuck. That was a good one.
Oh,
Okay.
and if we don't talk about it today, you have to write up for your next podcast. Lightswarm have a special request talking about ZVZ Hydra versus Hydras.
Sure. We can talk about that.
Since we're all pros player, maybe we don't have knowledge about it, so maybe it could be used on other casts.
Yeah.
I would love to play Hydra versus Hydra in ZVZ if Mutalisks did not exist. It would be fun.
You can do personal rules, you know, like you can literally just agree, like gentleman's agreement, you know, like, hey, this match we don't use Hydra, or we don't use Mutas, or like whatever it is. I've always kind of wanted to do.
Do you know what in ZVZ beats Mutas?
More Mutas?
Ultras. They're so tanky even with a flock of Mutas. They just run through your base and kill everything. Maybe they don't shoot up, but they kill all the building. That's all you need to win the game.
How do you get there though, right? Like the tech is so much further along.
I know. You need like start with Hydras, make some spore, and then eventually you end up like this, and it's kind of clowny.
I mean, I bet you anything fucking Snow would probably do it.
I love watching him play.
He's such a
Best
troll.
player. I know, it's great.
Yeah. His Reaver micro is pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He is.
And
He is definitely something else. No,
Mm-hmm.
that's for sure.
You also have the evil laugh.
No, I
So-
was just about to say his laugh is unbelievable.
I mean, what else
I
do
know.
you need when you have that?
Hold on, I gotta close my door. I'm gonna have my roommate's gonna come in here and shoot me. So hang on 1 sec.
Anderson, by the way, great Snow impression with the laugh and everything. I think he does it exactly like that. Posture and
idol.
everything.
But yeah, he's my idol. That's when I'm playing Protoss. That's what I think of.
Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
So we did. Okay, so back to square one. So we did. Anderson, we did your introduction. Escalade,
Yes.
would you like to go next?
Yeah, no problem. as much as Anderson, I started when I was a teenager. It's probably one of the first game after Diablo 1 that I've played on the computer. Back in the day, though, I just played use map setting kind of stuff because the competition, one versus one or stuff like that, I wasn't able to play it and enjoy it. So I was a scary cat. So I hate losing, so it's better to play use map setting. Then I took a break and I just came back before when COVID starts. So it's about 3 years from now. Then I joined CPL, then nOm, or nOm, then CPL. I don't remember the order. And back in the day, nOm was pretty much more smaller than it is right now. And I mostly recruited probably more than half the people here.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, exactly. You, Breeze, Deadweight, and a lot more as well. So yeah, it starts small, small community, and it just grow up. And
I honestly thought
Cookie
that you were
Man-
like.
Cook-
I honestly thought you were like one of the founders of it. I had no idea. I'd never really asked.
Oh, I'm not one of the OG, but I did. I start not that far after the first one, so
Non
Nice.
Broodwar says it's the French accent. No one can resist your charm.
yeah, exactly. That guy is not here to say to me to shut up, so we're fine.
All right. Well, Breeze, would you like to give your kind of introduction to the game and kind of like how you got started and all that stuff? I think we did this on one of them, but I'd like to do it during like an actual talk show thing and stuff. You know,
Yeah, it was kind of informal and impromptu.
it really
time.
was.
Um, so I started playing. I started playing Broodwar back in 1998 when it first came out. I've been playing for a long time. Like Escalade, I've spent most of the 20 some odd years of Broodwar's history as basically a UMS player. Um, I I uh, I played a little bit of Melee with like friends and family and stuff against computers and stuff, but I never really had an interest in laddering. Um, I think that I just never understood the game in that sense. But man, I would do like evolves, lurker defense, turret defense, all
Ooh,
that
evolves.
nonsense, right?
Evolves.
Yeah, Evolved.
Just
I've never
Zone
played it.
control was amazing.
I've never played it.
I
What
mean-
is it?
it's
That's like a mass unit spawn kind of game. Everyone, and yeah, it's hard to explain. Just go play it one time.
it's
Yeah.
basically like 600 army insanity.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you kind of have a science vessel that pop units, and when you kill enough units, they upgrade. So let's say you start with Broodling, and when you kill enough, they upgrade for Marines and stuff like that. So the strat is eventually to get to the raids or any air unit, and you stack them, and
Okay.
you kill the enemy bunker with it.
Okay.
When I started playing, I originally picked up Broodwar just to play with my dad and my brother and our small circle of friends. Before Broodwar came out, I was playing with this small group of friends on. I'm dating myself here. One, the World Opponent Network, and so I was playing on one before BattleNet came out, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. I think that I started watching like Artosis and like GSL for StarCraft 2, and then later ASL for Brood War. And once I started watching that when I was much older, is when I started getting an interest in competitive play.
Yeah,
Just-
me, I came back because of Falcon Paladin cast.
Oh,
It's
nice.
kind of what
Nice.
bring me back to the Broodwar scene. I just randomly have a video that pop on my YouTube. I click on it, and then I so on. And the nostalgia hit, and got back when COVID breaks. So
Okay. Well, I mean, so that kind of actually segues a little bit into like one of the first things that I kind of wanted to bring up and kind of ask was has to do with newer players and like people that are like kind of getting into the scene and stuff. So do you think that newer players should focus more on ladder wins, games with friends, use map settings maps, or single player games, and why?
It should just focus to win versus earn. That's it.
This whole episode is just going to be escalation shitting on Aaron.
Just fucking ripping on him the whole time. I think you should.
Isn't he out drinking and not even watching this episode right now too?
Yes. Yeah.
He's in Germany. He cannot do anything, so it's fair play. Well, it's like when I play versus him, he doesn't do anything anyway. So.
Coming out the gate with the
Shit-talk.
hot takes, damn, dude.
Well, I mean, if you saw that series to get to what was game 2? 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It was a good game.
What
All
was
I
it,
had
though?
to do was to hold.
You know what? He could have won. He could have killed you.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
So to come back to your question,
Let's come back.
I
Yeah.
think honestly, I'd start with the basic probably on maybe single player, the campaign and stuff like that to learn the units, learn the hotkeys, learn what's the goal, what kind of stuff, and probably if you really want to improve faster. I'd start with probably fastest maps since it's really focused on your macros mostly, and then eventually you come down to low money map, so you can more move your army and have a better strategy, build order and stuff. But start with fastest so you can get a hang of things, spend your money, and have a big composition of army and stuff like that.
And that's actually the first time I've heard somebody say to do fastest map actually for their first one. Most people usually that I would hear would say, use map settings like just stupid stuff, well, not stupid. I mean, it's still the game, but like turret defense or whatever and what have you, just to learn how the units move and stuff, and then kind of gravitate towards playing like single player games and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys?
I agree with Lightstorm here. I think it's BGH. Right? Because it's similar enough to the real game that you can practice your mechanics. It's fun. It's not too serious. So you're not going to get upset if you lose, right? You're just going to go to the next game, keep playing, keep practicing your mechanics. Like, I love, if I'm pissed off at ladder or I'm sick of losing 1v1s to people in a set or whatever, I'll go cool down. I'll play some BGH. I think that's the best place to start.
BGH is really, I honestly, like, I've played all this stuff over my tenure. I like personally, like, as far as BGH goes, like, I think Phantom BGH is a fuck ton of fun. And it's like you get the best of kind of learning how to play the game, but it's also just a really fun game mode that's full of like intrigue and backstabbing and all that stuff.
Yeah, do you know what is Phantom?
No, I don't. So, full disclosure, I can count on one hand how many different modes I've played for UMS. I jumped straight into it. Like, as Zeski told me back in CPL, I started learning this game the hard way. Like, I jumped straight in, going for, like, and just sucking at high-level builds over and over and over and over again and just beating my head against the wall. So.
Now, like, what I do, I would actually say that if you have a friend in the game that already plays, that knows a little bit and that can kind of teach you, I think just spending a lot of time in single player with a good mentor is actually, I feel like that's really invaluable, because you have someone there who knows things that you don't quite know yet, so they can help guide you. And so, and in fact, that's my partner has never played StarCraft in her life, and she doesn't really play video games. I mean, she likes playing video games. She loves it. She has fun, but she doesn't really play it like so intensely that she's like good at it. She's kind of a casual.
Not practicing, just playing.
And
I know it wasn't meant like that, but it's like filthy casual.
And that's how I'm teaching her is we're just learning in this. It's an old Team Liquid macro loam map, and it's just we could just practice together in a vacuum, and that's how I'm teaching her that way. And so if you have someone who's knowledgeable who can guide you, I actually think that just doing single player with a mentor is invaluable.
That's fair. I honestly started to fall off quite a bit because I started as Zerg, right, and I watched all these games. Like I watched all the different ASL stuff, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. This is like the coolest game that's ever been invented. I want to do this, which is the opposite of the way you're supposed to start. Because you see the person lifting 600 pounds, and you're like, that's what I'm gonna do day one in the gym. Like,
But it gives you that drive.
It
right?
does.
You see
It does.
what's possible.
That's
Yeah.
it,
yeah, and it's exciting to
Yeah.
watch too. Like it empowers you. It like makes you want to do it. And so I was getting really disappointed in my play, and I was just losing over and over again because I didn't know anyone in the scene. I literally was just some kid in my apartment just bashing my head against the fucking wall right when Remastered came
Yeah.
out. Because I'd played StarCraft 2 before that, and that was my first multiplayer StarCraft experience. Other than that,
Oh,
I'd
that-
only played single player.
That was your first mistake.
Yep. But we played it. Me and my family, we played it when we got the beta to it because we went to BlizzCon the year before it came out.
Oh,
So-
nice.
Sick.
Yeah, so we got to play as when we only got to play as Terran. They didn't release Zerg. They didn't release Protoss yet, but they did allow 1v1s as far as I remember. And so we were just like killing each other, and that was the first experience I'd ever had with like multiplayer StarCraft. So when StarCraft 2 came out, I was like, this is sick. I have to do this. And so I got really into SC2, but there was always that itch that I was like, whenever I'd suck at SC2, I'm like, I want to go back to Broodwar. I liked those units way more. I liked the feel of it. It's just so much. It's so much grittier, and like it has just so much more. It's so much more intense, you know. And then I started watching.
It's the unit selection. It's the
I feel
limit
like-
on unit selection. That's the biggest difference.
Yeah, and you have to
Broodwar-
manually do everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no cheat key to mass macro or even your worker. You need to select them and send them to the mineral patch.
Mhm.
There's nothing automatic.
I feel like with Broodwar, because you have to do everything yourself, one thing about it that's really fulfilling and rewarding is that when you actually press all these buttons in the right way and make all this stuff happen, it's like you really feel like you have power at your fingertips, and
Yeah.
and
Mhm,
you don't get that
mhm.
feeling with StarCraft 2.
No, you really don't.
Yeah.
I literally feel like my army is like fucking like paper airplanes. Like basically every time I play that game, I do. I feel like I can just throw away that whole army and just not really give a shit about it.
I get what you're saying. It's just it happens so quickly.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't feel impactful. It's just
Mhm.
vaporized. It's gone.
Yeah. But like basically what happened was I started like kind of like not really wanting to play because all I was doing was losing. And so instead I just watched it and studied it. And I studied for fucking literal years of my life without having a single person around me that played StarCraft, gave a shit about Broodwar in any way. So I was just all by myself, like, you know, just learning and watching all these things and like wishing I could get into it. And then one day I just was like, you know what, fuck it. I wonder if there's a forum on Reddit. And I like messaged out on like a Reddit, on the Broodwar Reddit chat, and was like, I'm looking for practice partners, trying to get into it. I met up with like 2 people that we just sat and like I got to know them really, really well. Still good friends of mine. And we just played together. We were at the exact same skill level, but we were. I was good at like the micro thing, but bad at macro. He was good at macro, but bad at micro. And so we would just go at it. And he was also a Terran player too. So we would just have these battles for like an hour and a half of us just like fighting against one another. And even though we were both not good at the game, it was so much fun to just play against somebody that was equally matched because we never knew what was going to happen, right? So it was like an actual struggle. And having that evenly matched opponent really, really pushed me to like actually want to get better at the game. And that's when I started finding CPL. That's when I started finding NOM. That's when I started finding like all of that shit. So my personal opinion is finding somebody that you can play with that's the same skill level as you is invaluable to making you want to continue.
You're making
to
me
play.
want to play right now. I want to
Yeah.
load up a ladder game right now. Listen to that passion.
And
Yeah, so don't play versus Earn. He's too weak. So you have to step up a little bit If you want a free win,
Oh,
go for it.
wow.
Damn, dude. All right, now we have to have a grudge match on this channel.
Just making clips of himself.
Dear God.
But yeah, I still remember my first win ever in remaster. I mean, I've played
Oh, dude.
ladder
Oh, your first
for
win?
like 100 games, and I kept losing,
Mhm.
and when
Mhm.
I won, it was the best day in my, well, maybe not in my life. The best one was when I beat Erm, but that's another story.
No, I feel the same way. I called I called my girlfriend like right after. I was like, "Babe, I won my first StarCraft game."
Nice.
She was like,
Oh yeah.
"Cool, babe." And I was like, "You don't
Yeah.
understand." I'm all sitting here like fucking shaking and shit.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I still have that replay. Actually, it's one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life. But you know
You
what?
held
I
on to
fucking
it,
won.
You should play it on the stream right now, and we all
Oh,
commentate
God.
over it.
No.
Oh man, that'd
No.
be a treat.
Maybe some other time.
Special edition.
Oh Christ. But I did want to kind of go. There was a couple other ones that I actually had. There were some good talking points and stuff like that. But did you have anything that you wanted to add, Breeze, as well? Because I know we kind of like steamrolled over you tiny
Off
bits. I feel
topic.
bad.
It's all right. No, you're yeah. I didn't. I'm kind of I'm kind of at the point where like I'm kind of losing track of where the conversation is
Oh,
going.
okay.
So where were we?
No worries. No
I
worries.
agree. Where were we?
That's all good. It's all good. We'll just power through. It's all good. So,
All right.
Next topic or
yeah, sure,
Yeah,
absolutely,
okay.
absolutely.
We were talking about Ghost.
We were.
Right.
We
Oh
were.
my god, that feels an eternity ago.
All right.
Okay. So next topic.
So, all right. So, what is your opinion on the ladder system, and how would you improve it? And if you disagree with the other person, explain why.
I can start if you want.
Go for it.
The first thing I would do if I work at Blizzard and I had a free coffee, I
Step one would be to
I'd
give a shit
remove-
about Broodwar. Step two.
I'd stop with the multiple account. You have 3 account per gateways that inflate the MMR for the whole system. If you only have 1 account, the main goal is, oh yeah, I want to be the best, so you try your ass off to get to the B, A rank, S rank, whatever the rank you want to aim. And then you don't. You know that if you want to smurf, you have to lose a bunch of games to get back to the bottom and then raise again to the top. So technically it will not completely remove the smurfs, but probably a bunch of them. That's the main thing I do. So everybody agrees?
Well, the first thing I would do is I would permanently replace Fighting Spirit and Eclipse.
Oh man,
Yes,
I
thank
actually
you,
like.
thank you.
I actually like Eclipse, even as a Terran.
Oh, it's
I
so
actually like
boring.
Eclipse. It's fun, man. I love like sieging tanks like on each one of those high grounds and like moving them around and stuff. It's kind of like are you guys all well, I don't mean to like get off topic to another game, but are you guys like Call of Duty nerds at all? Any of the four of you?
Playing BattleBit.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a map. It's called Shipment, and it's literally like the smallest, tiniest fucking map of all time. And they cram like 10 people on each team into that shit, and it is so much fun. Like, it's just like because it's so small and it's the same thing every single time, and you know exactly where somebody's going to be. Eclipse to me is kind of like that. Like, basically, anytime I play against a Protoss on Eclipse, I know for a fact that 9 times out of 10 I'm going to be rushed, and there's going to be somebody, and they're going to steal my gas. So I just have to get good at doing gasless expansions on that map every single time, and that's just what I've practiced.
Yeah.
So like, there's something to be said about that, just a little bit, you know. But I agree with you on Fighting Spirit. That map is, I'm so done with that map. Like, oh my god.
It's outdated. right? Like the thirds
Yeah.
on that map, it's the design is a bit old school. You can
I
still play
feel
it.
like when I watch a game on Fighting Spirit, or like when I see the Fighting Spirit map, I feel like I'm seeing a 300-year-old person still attempting to live and breathe and function in society. It's like, okay,
right.
just stop.
It's like that episode of
Just
SpongeBob. She's
please.
like, "What? What are they selling? They're selling chocolates." Anyway, no.
Compared to Python, Fighting Spirit is a godsend. No way. Give me Python on the ladder, man. I will take Python right now. Blizzard, please.
I like the new maps. I like the ones especially the ones that we've been doing with NSL.
I love the NSL maps.
Dude,
They're
same.
fun, man.
Yeah.
They're sick. Who was it that made it? I think it is a person from nOm, isn't it, that made those maps?
Well, not all of them. I think it's split. What are the Escalade? You would probably know. What are the maps that Suri made?
He made a bunch.
I think
He made Sandstorm.
Mhm.
I'm pretty
Which
sure
is
he
great.
did.
Yeah.
But he made last season. He made like 3 maps for NSL or something like that. I don't know which one is for this season. Probably Cookie Master in the chat will probably tell me. But yeah, he made a bunch. Let me look. Maybe I can find it. And Suri gonna be upset about me because I'm not recalling what map he made.
You've betrayed him.
I
Yeah.
think he made a few. I know he made
He's-
pretty sure he made Retro and Paradiso and Neo Rush Hour.
Word,
ones
all those?
for
Those are
sure.
fucking excellent maps.
First two? Yeah.
Suriketa is a map master for
Yeah.
real. You ask him about walling on a map, he knows exactly where to put the building for every race. When you make a map, we notice some bugs or stuff like that. I just wrote, something happened. Look at the replay at 5 minute 30 and stuff like that. The first thing you know, 10 minutes later, it's fixed. He already made a patch, and let's go.
Blizzard,
So-
you hear this shit? Like, I really hope at some point y'all hear this shit and fucking hire that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hire
Give him
Sherry
a
and
bunch
noodles.
of coffee, and Suriketa worked for Blizzard for years. You know?
Imagine Retro on the ladder.
Dude, I know,
That'd be
I agree.
incredible.
Well, that's
Yeah,
why I
that's
like.
cool.
That's why I like what they're doing with Shield Battery. Honestly, like I love the
Yes.
Yeah.
fact that
Mhm.
Shield Battery is just like made by players for players, and it's like, all right, we know that Blizzard has stopped giving a shit about this game. Let's just fucking
Well,
make our own
mean,
platform.
Microsoft now.
Oh yeah. Excuse
Shield
me.
Battery's been around a long time, man. Like
Has
it's
it really?
not a new thing. I wish more people played on it. Like it's been around for years. It's just not used enough is the problem. And the people who do play, top level.
Yeah.
Right? Because the servers are better. So finding just your practice games like people in nOm and stuff like that, it can be really difficult
Yeah.
on Shield Battery.
I tried.
Yeah.
I downloaded it and I tried just like signing up for like just like a random ranked game, and like I sat around and I waited for like a couple of minutes, and I was like, okay. And I left the queue, sat around again for another couple minutes, and I was like, okay, well I guess I'm gonna go get cannon rushed on this Broodwar ladder because there's nothing else I
You
can
won't
do.
get
On
games
fight-
unless
on
you type in
fighting.
chat.
Yeah,
On Fighting Spirit and Eclipse.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
Wait, can we go back and talk about just the original topic for a second? The
Yeah.
what
Go
you
for
would
it.
do for ladder, right?
Yeah,
For
sorry,
me-
we keep getting off track. My bad.
For me, I would region lock Korea. I would do it.
Oh, go 2 for 2, huh? StarCraft 2 and Brood War.
Oh, is that locked to StarCraft 2 as well?
Yep. That's what Blizzard did.
I mean, I can't say that it's not a bad idea. I mean, it is a little. Well, yeah, I
It's for
can't.
selfish reasons. I'm just tired of playing turn rate 12, turn rate 16 against BM Koreans. It's selfish. I know.
Yeah, I know. I feel the same way a little bit, but I also kind of I do agree with a little bit with Lightswarm. It is kind of really funny to just like cheese one of them and then like just have them like start like screaming
They
expletives
freak out,
in
man.
Korean. They're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, "Oh, fuck!" You're like, "I'm winning, bitch." Get the fuck out of here.
They'll just
But-
type out repeatedly.
I mean,
Or from.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, from.
Here's the thing with that and all that. Like, I agree with you. But the only thing that I have to complain about that has to do with the people from Korea in general is the fact that they seem to really enjoy going to E and F rank and finding the times when people in North
Yeah.
America, specifically, it seems like, are
Mhm.
online, specifically
Mhm.
so that they can just absolutely be pieces of shit. And, like, I hate it because it's racist to say 100% that, like, oh, yeah, like, all the Korean people that play that want to do this. But I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying the particular ones that do that are from Korea, I agree. I think having Korea region locked would actually make the game a lot more enjoyable for newer folks, at least for maybe the first couple ranks. After that, then
Yeah.
I think that it should be fine. Like maybe like around like C rank or something like that, then it's like not region locked, you know?
Yeah, probably, yeah. And
I think
also, I'd add that maybe like the people that's smurfing, maybe they got their account locked if they quit the game in less than, let's say, 30 seconds or something like that, 3 times in a row. So they cannot log in or play on
Oh
ladder.
yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah, if the game doesn't go higher than 5 minutes, 3 times, banned for 24 hours or something like that. So
So they
they will
can't
have to
drop in
take
rank.
some
Yeah.
days before smurfing, and
Mhm.
that's it.
I can see that.
So I think I think to segue because um I think your answer segues into some of the stuff I would do.
Mhm.
I think finding some way to discourage people just tanking their MMR just to troll the low ranks.
Yeah.
I think that there needs to be some way to discourage that. I don't really know how that would be done,
Mhm.
but uh, I've thought a long time like, okay, if I um if I am F rank MMR,
Mhm.
I should never play. I don't care if there's 5 people on the fucking ladder right now. I should never play like a D or a C rank MMR
Yeah,
ever as an
I
F
agree
rank.
with that. Yeah, sometimes it
Yeah,
swings wildly.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I'd prefer to wait 10
Same.
minutes than.
Rather than like 20 seconds or whatever. Give me an even match, way better.
Yeah.
yeah.
But see, and that's kind of why it goes back a little bit to playing games with friends too. Like when you're 1st
Mhm.
getting started, is like finding people that are around the same rank as you. You know, like my girlfriend is actually she's been trying to get into playing Broodwar, and I've been telling her up and down. I was like, for your first couple of games, like play against me on like an off race, or play against like some people that like are in CPL in nOm, people that are like around the same rank as you, so that you can enjoy the game. That way, you're both
She
struggling equally. You know.
she should play versus Ern. Totally same level.
But then it would be a ZVZ, and then that's a coin flip a little bit. So
I'm still
Um,
getting blasted tomorrow by Ern. I know.
I think that there is something to be said of having a variety of friends that have a
Oh,
variety of skill levels because
they push you.
there is there is value to all skill levels playing
Mm-hmm.
against like good friends of all skill levels.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so not just like the same rank, but like maybe like okay, like if you're E rank, there's value in regularly playing against someone who is C rank who's going to beat you every game.
Oh yeah,
Mhm. Oh,
100%.
You
absolutely.
know.
Yeah, 100%.
As long as the meaning of the game is specifically to be like, what did you do
Yeah.
wrong here, or like, how could you have improved this, or like, even the other way around, like, hey, could you tell me what I did wrong here? Can you tell me what I could have improved on here? And like, having them go over the replay with you, and like have them not be a jackass about it, because like, obviously, if a person that's A rank plays against a person that's F rank and they four pull you every fucking game, they're gonna win, and they're gonna
Mhm.
end the game in 30 seconds, and it's really annoying, and people do that shit. And like,
Yeah.
I think that like having somebody that's willing to like play like at least a semi-standard game. I'm not saying that 4 pools and 9 pool speeds and BBSs and two gate proxies and stuff. They have their place and
uh,
everything.
Don't
It's
don't talk
respect.
about two-gate proxy. It's
You're-
a macro game.
But what you're talking about is just the respect for your
Yes.
opponent, right? It's like
Yes.
just don't cheese them every game. Give them the respect of a real match, right?
At
Yeah, I
least-
agree. That's a good way to.
At least once or twice, throw it in
Yeah.
there to fuck with them. That's fine. Like I remember really specifically, I was playing against Disattack. We were doing a TBT, and we were doing like all these different games. We had done like 4 or 5 rounds, and then we both decided. I decided to just go with the forward racks, but he actually BBS'd me. And like I just remember we're in the voice chat. I think you were actually in the voice chat with us, Anderson. And like we're just sitting here playing, everything's fine, and then I just see his like 3 Marines and an SCV just push in before my racks is in. I'm like, you bitch, and like, and he just starts busting up laughing. Like that's the cheese that I like. That's when it's so much fun when like your friend does it to you, and you're like, fucking asshole. Like, just keeping it fun,
man. I had a game like that on the ladder. I was just playing this random person. We both cheesed each other. I was trying to do like a proxy 2-gate, and they and it was a PvP, and they did horror gates in my base.
Nice.
Horror Gates, best build, man. I love even just the name. It's so good.
Right?
I had a game that I went 2-gate proxy 99, and it was on Eclipse. And the other was Terran, and he did BBS. It was pretty amazing.
I had
It went both ways.
I had a game. I have it saved. It's one of my favorite replays of all time. It's a game that was 40. It was like 40 or 50 seconds long. Like it was like nothing. Actually, I think it was a little bit longer than that technically. But we both. It was a TBT. We both went for center barracks. His racks were like half a second off. So mine finished before his did, and we were just out of view of one another, so we couldn't see what we were doing. My Marine walked over first, and all of a sudden, just like the Korean, just started fucking spamming through the thing, and then he just left the game. I was like, oh.
Awesome. I love that.
This is one of my favorite replays of all time.
That's incredible.
You gotta send me that, dude.
Dude, yeah, I'll send it. I'll send it, yeah. It's so fucking funny. Oh, man. Well, I'd have another one for you guys as well. Do you think the scene will grow or die off? Why and what would you suggest to prevent the death or promote the growth of the scene, both foreigner and Korean?
I think ultimately it will never die.
Is that too much information? I know you're all Protosses.
Wow. It's been around too long.
I had to do it once. Sorry.
It's never gonna die, right? But I mean, if you want to promote it more and you want to grow the scene, you got to do more events that are for the regular player, the average player, right? Like that's why I love NSL. NSL's been a really fun experience, and even when people lose, like there have been some people I've spoken to, they've lost their matches, they're a little bummed out, right? But you need to just remind them that it's for learning, it's for fun, right? It's to do stuff as a community, and that's how you grow the scene, right? Just this focus on the pro scene all the time, that's great and all, but nothing comes from that for the rest of the group, right?
Yeah. To be honest, that's literally the main inspiration as to why I started this show. Was specifically so that we could have people of all ranks, no matter like what race you played, no matter what rank you were, like no matter what it is, like a place where like we could literally just hang out and just bullshit about a game we all love. Like it doesn't matter what rank you are, we all have the same opinions about certain shit. We all hate being cheesed all game, like every single game. We all have a shared cathartic experience with the game, and like even people that are like just starting out versus people that have been playing the game for 20 years, they still experience some of the same stuff. And I think that alone, like the fact that even though it's similar, like the experience is still similar, the feeling of it is still similar. An F rank player can put just as much effort into the game as an S rank player. Obviously, the game will look drastically different, but the feeling inside that you get when you're playing that is exactly the same. And I think that alone is one that will keep this particular game alive for a long, long time. And having a place where people, like you said, that are the human players, in my opinion, can come together and do things like NSL, like CPL, stuff like that. It's invaluable.
Yeah, I think the more leagues there are and the wider range it is, the better. Not just top player. I like that CPL, NWL, NSL, uh, probably BSL. I don't play on it, but I know there's some brackets. So it's good for everybody to shine and learn and play and make friends and see people evolving. Joining a clan or something also helps to grow community and having friends among the players. So,
Mm-hmm.
well, yeah, I think it will probably be hard to get more players playing unless there's a super event or something like that maybe bring nostalgia for people because most of the normal people not like that, but I mean most of the regular people doesn't know about ASL or top
Mm-hmm.
players from StarCraft.
Mm-hmm.
The only one I remember when I was young was Boxer. That's about it. I didn't even know about G-Dong or stuff like that until I learned later about them. So,
Mm-hmm.
I've never known G-Dong either.
Um, I think let's see. So I think that um one of the things that StarCraft has in this day and age in gaming that's kind of a challenge. I'm not going to say that it can't grow, but it's got a slight challenge ahead of it.
Mm-hmm.
Is the genre of game that it is RTS, which originally was an offshoot of the old city builder games from like the mid to late 90s.
Hmm.
Um, and so I feel like city builders and those kind of like long 3-hour long strategy games are not really a thing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So RTS as a genre, and I think StarCraft in particular is kind of like at the lead helm of this genre.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to find a way to connect with the current um, uh, environment in gaming.
Yeah.
Which it is very casual heavy. There's a lot of people who play single player. Now, one advantage that StarCraft has for it in this sense is that a lot of StarCraft is single player. So
Can be. Yeah.
you can totally connect with like the people that play single player RPGs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's a lot of mobile pay to win, which is
I was just seeing that comment too.
where
Yeah.
yeah, we can go off a whole nother hour talking about that.
I love gacha games. What do you mean?
So
That being said, this stream sponsored by Raid Shadow. No, I'm just kidding. It's not sponsored. Don't mute my cast.
I
Anyway.
think so I think that RTS needs to find a way to connect with the current environment,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that like I'll take my partner again as an example because she picks up the concepts of learning this game a lot faster than I did.
Mm-hmm.
So she's played
Receiving
3 games of
incoming
this and she
transmission.
already understands that she needs to be focusing on being more efficient.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for the
I
follow,
still
by the way,
am
May.
learning that.
Nice.
So it's, I mean, you can connect with people on an intellectual level with StarCraft. And I think that is something that makes StarCraft really fucking great, is that it is an intellectual exercise to get better at this game.
I'm pinning
And and I
I was
feel
just
like
reading that.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm
I didn't
reading
mean to.
the
I didn't
chat.
mean, sorry, continue. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
oh, you're good. I feel like that could be one way to grow the game is to pander to
The newer.
pander to the side of people that want to learn a skill and enjoy learning a skill, like
Yeah.
guitar or piano or
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean?
I think building awareness of, cause this is one thing, when I joined CPL, this was the thing that I advocated for, and I still do also to this day, is that I will gladly run social media stuff for CPL. For NSL too, if we want to, but doing an Instagram page, doing a TikTok, doing like small clips, things like that, just to kind of get the fact out there that like people still play this game. Like if you talk to somebody that's a gamer, right, in general, and they've played games all their lives, they know about StarCraft, whether they've played it or not, or whether they're. Most of the time, what happens is usually whenever I talk to people, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I play StarCraft," and they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember that game." They do that every time, and it's like, well, people still play it. Like people still actively play it. People are still actively improving, and there are people that are the same skill level as you that are looking for people to play against. So like, if we had that out there more, like it took me fucking like 5 years to find CPL, and that was with me like actively looking. I looked in the wrong places, but I was actively looking for it. And like there are plenty of people out there that have wanted to do that and are like, I'm just gonna stick with StarCraft 2 just because it's fucking easier, because they can't find people. You know?
True.
Yeah, and you know, these kinds of grassroots low I'm not gonna say low, I'm gonna say these grassroots all skill level communities that we have, like CPL and NWL and BWCL. I think that finding a way to get these more visible is going to be key to growing for sure.
Can I ask you guys something? Breeze, can I ask you something?
What's up?
In that sort of vein, what's your thoughts on maybe like a small money prize tournament, like a weekly thing? Not like a format like NSL or something, but just a bracket every week for like a $5 cash prize or something, just to incentivize people to play.
I'd be down.
Yeah.
I mean, something like that,
Yeah,
right?
you mean CSL?
Is that what that is?
Is that the format?
CSL is a little bit bigger than $5.
Yeah.
So CSL is
How much is CSL?
CSL.
Roughly.
I think it's 35 or maybe something
nice.
like that.
I think maybe a couple hundred even collectively.
Yeah,
for the
but
prize pool.
it's not weekly; it's monthly, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, what I always did. So this was why I liked playing poker with some of my friends. So this is totally off topic. Well, it's not really off topic, but it's like it has to do with this small buy-in idea. Is like the way we looked at it. We all would pitch in $10, right, at the beginning of the night. Now, granted, we're not going to be in person for any of this LAN tournament. Well, for any of this stuff like that. So obviously, it makes it not quite as good as what I'm about to say. But basically, what it was you paid $10 and you brought drinks and snacks, and you had free access to all the drinks and snacks that anybody brought. Even if you lost, you could just go into the fridge and just get trashed if you fucking wanted to, based off of what everybody brought. And the idea was for $10 or $15, you can go and sit down and have a really fun night with friends. Or for $30, you could go downtown and maybe spend probably more than $30 and have a kind of okay time in a super loud club environment with like no return. Right? So like if we did like a $5 buy-in tournament, like you were saying, where it's like, it's a friendly tournament. It's designed for us to just fuck around for a couple of hours, but there's $5 on the line from every player that pitches in. And it's like,
yeah,
okay, at the end of the night, somebody's going to win $50 if 10 players pitch in. You know, well, actually, I think it'd technically be like one person would get their winnings back +2, so it'd be like $10, and then the person who won would get like $40 if it was exactly 50. So it's like kind of split up a little bit.
I think it can work, right?
So
like
too.
You look at other communities, other things. Like I mean, even something. Lots of scenes do a weekly get together.
Yeah.
Right, like Melee, there's weeklies all over every country, right? You look at something like Magic, Friday Night Magic, got a buy-in, right?
Yep.
People hugely popular, and it grows everything, right? I mean, if people were willing to actually commit to playing to it for like $5 or whatever it is, it could be a lot of fun.
So what you're saying?
I have a condition though.
What's that?
If we put $5, my bucks are Canadian. So you'd stay like that.
Yeah,
I have a better payout if I win.
Yeah, that's a good point. It would have to be like something like monetized or something like, like it'd have to be evened out. But so basically what you're telling us is that we should just start an illegal gambling ring. Because that's kind of what it sounds like.
Pretty much, yeah, basically, yeah.
Well, I don't know if maybe a buy-in, or maybe just have. Yeah, because that's like, where does the money come from when you have money on the line? It would have to come from the players that are participating.
Yeah.
I'm
totally,
I don't know.
I mean, I think that honestly, like, if we were to do something like that, I think it would be fine as long as it wasn't. You're not really gambling, right? Because you're not like betting on the other players. Like, if somebody was like, I wager $10 that this person's gonna beat this person, then that's like gambling. But just like a buy-in for a tournament, I don't think that's gambling. I think it'd be fine.
Okay, so
I don't think it's actually gambling.
Yeah.
I agree with Fuzzy Branch here that I think that putting money at stake can make things messy. And I think that, like, even if no one did a buy-in and someone just said, "Hey, I'm gonna front $5," you know, once you put even like something like $5 as the winning prize, I feel like the fun can go away.
I can see that.
Yeah, for some people, yeah.
You got to be a willing participant. That's the thing. It can still be fun, but you have to be a person with the right mindset.
Well,
right? Your buy-in, consider it gone. And if you happen to win, awesome. But go into it with that mindset, and you'll still have a lot of fun, in my opinion.
That's how we always played poker. But at the same time, you know, there are those people that are like, there's money on the line. This is me potentially winning money to do X, Y, Z. And so they take it, even if it's a friendly tournament, they take it way more seriously than they should. And that's where you start to get like a lot of people that get super butthurt and being like, no, that's bullshit. That's such a stupid call. Like blah blah blah. And like, or like cheat or like something like that. And it's like, okay, come on, man. Like, there's always that. But I don't know. I think it's a cool idea at the very least. I think it'd be kind of a fun thing to maybe do once in a while. Maybe even just like a chat thing, you know, that we host or something like that, where it's like I could do like, you know, maybe we could like announce for it or something like that, Breeze, and we could do like a cast where it's like a buy-in type tournament, but only for people of like F and E rank for a $5 prize. I think that'd be kind of cool.
I join if Earn is there, so I can get this money for free
in advance.
But we can talk about that later. I mean, and everything like that. I just mean, like, you know, if you had casters that did it, and it was a big event, and it was like fun. I mean, I think that's basically what Aaron is doing in August.
Yeah,
I think
in CSL. Yeah. He's doing the LAN as well at Chicago.
Which I have my dad for my birthday got me a Southwest gift card for like a decent amount, and so I'm actually thinking I'm probably going to do it.
Nice. Cat Starland?
I think so. I got to find my tickets, and I got to figure out a package, because I think I think through Southwest, I think you can buy like you can get like hotel rooms and like rental cars and stuff. So I'm hoping that I can do it all in like a big bundle, but we'll see.
You got to go, because someone has to beat Artosis. So you got to go.
I don't think Artosis is going to go, man.
He donated.
Did he really?
He donated. Yeah, he did.
Oh shit! I had no idea.
He knows about it. He's thinking about going, as far as I know. I mean, he's donated.
Nice.
Maybe just to support. Who knows, right?
I think it would be awesome if him and like Tasteless and like some of the other people that were like from the foreign scene, if they went to support it, I think it would be fucking fantastic.
Yeah, Atenta saying, he said it depends who's showing up, so maybe some big names coming down there.
Hawk.
Actually,
let's go.
I like the idea.
Right, get down there.
You like the idea?
I like the idea of a LAN better than I like the idea of like an online tournament, because a LAN or a LAN puts a more human face on the game, and so you take some of the anonymity away and you bring some of the human factor back with the LAN, which is actually where this all started. So it's like I feel like that's a really good community building strategy.
LANs are just tough, you know, like I don't know, like I would wager that I'm probably one of the only people in my entire town. I live in a decent sized town. I'm probably one of the only people in my entire town that plays Broodwar and plays it seriously. I mean, there are some people that I've played with that like they enjoy it, and like I've gotten to play with them, like a couple of games I've played on LAN with them. But then the second that it was like I forget what it was. It was a cast that Tasteless and Artosis were doing one time where Tasteless was talking about when they were in high school and they were like, "Oh, you play Broodwar?" And they're like, "Yeah, I play Broodwar all the time." And then like you like sit down and you play against that person and it's like, "Okay, well you play Broodwar, but you don't like play Broodwar. Like you don't like,
Yeah.
you don't know like you go to their base to scout and there's like 6 workers and somebody's off building their second depot before barracks and you're like, "Okay. what are we doing here?" Like
He's enjoying his SimCity.
yeah, guess so.
Like a roller coaster tycoon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, guys, we are out of time for the night. So I really appreciate all 3 of you coming out and hanging out and talking some Broodwar shit. It's been a ton of fun, and I hope that you guys come on again as well. Like you're more than welcome to come on again, as well as anybody in the chat that's watching. This show is designed for anybody from F to S rank. It's an hour every week on Friday at 6:30 Pacific time. Absolutely would love to have more folks on. It was supposed to be 2 hours, but the last couple casts it kind of stopped at 1, so I've been doing it for 1, but maybe next time. But anyway, is there any events that you guys have coming up or anything like that? Any casts, things like that you want to give a shout out to before we head off for the night?
Nothing at the moment for me.
Well, we've got, I know that we've got on your Twitch, Deadweight, we've got our cast, coming up tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. In the evening, 9:30 in the evening Eastern. And, let's see, I got a bunch of stuff going on my Twitch.
And everyone's Twitches are linked down below, so give them all follows, spread the love for StarCraft stuff. Yeah. Again, Escalade. Sorry, did you have anything you wanted to add as far as StarCraft stuff? Anything?
No, it's fine. I'm probably just gonna randomly string probably in the future days since I got a new PC, so it's up and running. So I tried it today. So
well, right.
No official date time, but eventually.
All right. Well, right on. Thank you guys all so much for coming out. Thank you guys for showing up and giving your commentary and talking. I really appreciate it. And I hope everyone has a good night.
Peace.
Have a good night. Thanks.
See ya.